Hello, Chris. Welcome. Hello, Antoinette. Welcome. We've got one more minute and we'll get started. Welcome, Zeri. All right. Hello, and welcome to part 2 of our series, Becoming Cleoria Dunn, inspired by our forever First Lady, Michelle Obama. As you know, last week I rated her book and her conversations 5 stars because I think she did a wonderful job. And I think that we should always remember that I think the title is such a great title because we are all forever becoming. We're forever becoming better moms, better dads, better friends, better sisters. We are just forever becoming better people. So I just can't think of a better name than for the title of this book. And like I said, when I think about it, I realize that every day we are becoming. So last week you listened as I read my letter to the former First Lady. Today I welcome you to listen as I share more of my takeaways or my highlights from the book, and then I will invite you to share and ask questions. Okay? The former First Lady was quoted saying, "My father and brother had the greatest impact on my self-esteem because I grew up in a household with men who loved me and respected me very early on, who told me how beautiful I was, who treated me as an equal. So even at an early age, because I had a father and a brother and the men in my life who didn't hurt me, who took care of me, the bars for what I expected for myself was set by these men in my life." So what she's saying here is because she had the right people, the right men in her life, her bars were already set high. She had high expectations. And then she went on to say, and too many of us as women are walking around hurt and covered with scars. And that affects how we care for ourselves and the message we send to our children. Wow. These men impacted her self-esteem, and we all know how important self-esteem is. When it's lost, it's very hard to regain. It can be regained, but it takes a lot to pull it back up. So I'm going to pull out some points that she talked about. She said they impacted her life by loving her, respecting her very early on. They didn't wait until she got older. They did it from the beginning. Okay? They told her she was beautiful. They treated her as an equal. And then she started off just talking about the father and the brother. And then she said later in the quote, father, brother, and men in my life. So she added more people, father, brother, and men, okay? She said they didn't hurt her. They took care of her. And the result of having all of that in her life caused her to raise the bar. She knew if she got this at home, love, respect, told she was beautiful, she expected a guy to do that and more. After I kind of looked at this and I was kind of analyzing it, a scripture came to my mind. It says, love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no records of wrong. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. And then it says, it always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. Our former First Lady grew up in a home full of love. She got it from mom, she got it from dad, she got it from brother, and she got it from other people and other men in her life. She got it from home. You know, and I know you guys have always heard charity begins at home and then it does what? It spreads abroad. Where does it begin? It begins at the house. Okay? Men, it is your job to love, respect, and to tell your children and your wife how beautiful / handsome they are. It's your job to protect them, to take care of them. This is your rightful place as the head of your household. I believe that it's up to you to be the encourager, because you know the Bible says that the woman is the weaker sex. So men, we have a very serious job here. Your sons and daughters should hear you complimenting in the house. Good compliments. Then our sons and our daughters can raise the bar. Because I know some of us say, where she get him from? Or where he get her from? And sometimes it's some of the things that we've done in our homes. So some of this stuff we have to take responsibility for ourselves. It's something that we've done as parents or have not done as parents. Women, it's true, some of us have been hurt and we are covered with scars that affect us and the message or messages that we send to our children. But I'm going to say this. I say to you women, rise up. Rise up. Yes, we have some scars, but we've got to rise up from these scars. We've got to educate ourselves. We've got to even get out of relationships that's hindering you. If you're in a situation right now, a relationship, and it's not for the good and it's not beneficial to you and your children, I recommend you get out for the safety of you and your children. Surround yourself with positive women that's impacting the communities or their societies. Surround yourself with those kind of women. And if you'd like to, go on and spearhead a women's group to help yourselves. A women's group for women that are scarred. You know, I heard someone say, whatever you want the most, that's what you give away. So if you're scarred, go find another lady that's scarred, and together you guys can pull each other up. When we lower our standards, we pay for it in two ways. We, the women, pay for it. Sometimes it can be a verbal abusive relationship. It doesn't always have to be a physical um, abusive relationship. Sometimes it can just be verbal. And we pay for it with our children. And how many of you know that's too high of a price to pay? I don't want to pay with that anymore. Now, let me tell you some things about myself and why I feel all of this is so important. For years, I struggled with low self-esteem. And I tell you, it's still something I have to pray about because it always tries to come back. Because really it's a spirit and it tries to attach itself to you. So I constantly have to affirm myself, and tell myself, you can do that. As a matter of fact, I can do all things through Christ. Sometimes that's how I start the day. Now, I didn't feel like I was good enough. I compared myself to my friends. I wanted their lives and I wanted their parents. I was born in Los Angeles, California, but due to unfortunate circumstances, I was moved to Monroe, Louisiana to be reared by my grandparents with my two older sisters. And I have to tell you, I always felt very disadvantaged. At that time, I didn't know what self-esteem was. I had no idea it was self-esteem that I was feeling, but I felt very disadvantaged. My mom was a very beautiful, young lady who I adored. But for the life of me, I could not understand why my sisters and I lived here in Monroe, Louisiana with two older people, while she and my brother and my sister lived in Los Angeles, California. I couldn't understand that. I didn't understand why we lived two separate lives. So it caused me to have problems. It bothered my self-esteem. I didn't feel good enough. And I hated when my grandfather came to school because I knew I was going to have to go to war with somebody. Because you know how the kids are, they make fun and different things like that. And so when they begin to make fun or things about my granddaddy, I had to go into another mode and tell them, don't talk about my grandfather. And before I know it, we were going back and forth. They were talking about my grandfather. I was talking about their mama. You understand what I'm saying? But I was still struggling on the inside. They couldn't tell because I wasn't going to let them know that they were getting the best of me. Because my grandfather wanted us to have a relationship with our mom, he sent us to California every year. This only added to my issues with self-esteem. My sister and brother did not understand the situation either. They were just as naive as we were. Sometimes we acted as if we weren't even related. There were times we really had some good times while we were there. We went places, and of course, Los Angeles is so much bigger than Louisiana, so we got to see so many good different things, and we enjoyed sometimes. We were from the South, and of course, we had our Southern accent, so they always made fun of the way we talked. Again, messing with that self-esteem. Sometimes we'd have discussions and arguments, and it would end up, the words would flow from their mouth, my mom. They would say, okay, that's my mom, in different situations. And most of the times we didn't say anything back. We said, yeah, that is your mom, because our parents, as far as we had accepted at this time, we had accepted our grandparents as our parents. So we said, okay, we'll let you have her. We'd stay in California for the duration of the summer. And when our time was up, we'd return back to Monroe, broken emotionally. We would discuss our trips when we got back, but we never got to deal with the emotions that were going on inside of each of us. We all dealt with it the best way we could. They showed up later in the decisions that we made, in our relationships, in our marriages, and with our children. Problems that are not dealt with only turn into bigger ones. They turn inward. Sometimes you're angry. Kids don't understand. You don't even understand. But it's that problem that you never got healed from, or you never got any help on how to deal with. So, like I said, you end up carrying it into other relationships. Sometimes we Christians think we can pray away a problem. I believe in prayer. I also believe that God uses people outside of the church sometimes, like a counselor, to help us to solve our family problems. When I realized the importance of this, I was on the baby's son. And I remember saying, baby, I'm going to take you to a counselor. Mama, I don't need no counselor. I don't want to go to no counselor. Yes, you do need a counselor. I said, Caleb, it doesn't mean something's wrong with you, baby. You're just going to help you to think better. And so sometimes he went to a counselor. I know that the word counselor has a negative connotation, especially in our African American communities, but it should not. If you remember in her memoir, Forever First Lady said that she sought counseling for her and her husband, for their marriage. The late Norman Vincent Peale was quoted saying that he had 12 psychologists on staff as consultants at his church because he wanted to help his congregation. He believed in dealing with people scientifically. Also, he said, how are you going to fix a man if you don't know why he's sick? I agree with that. I feel the same way. How are we going to solve our problems if we don't know where they stem from? How am I going to help that little boy at school? How am I going to help that little girl at school if I don't know where her problem stems from? So, counseling is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. I can better help them if I know where their problems stem from. I'm going to share some tips with you on how to build self-esteem. Parents, I want us to know that we build the atmosphere in our homes. Our children follow our lead. If we're kind, they're going to be kind. If we're screaming like somebody crazy, they're going to be screaming like somebody crazy the same way. Fill your home with love and encouragement. Say words like, I believe in you. You can do it. I'll help you. I love you. Nothing is more important than you. I tell you, when I say that to my baby boy, that just makes his day. He say, what you say, mama? I say, nothing is more important than you. This is also important for us as educators. I'm sorry. We want to be careful not to break or wound our children's spirit. I know that dealing with children can be challenging, but we have to remember we are the adults. We don't want to break them down. We do want to chastise them. We want to correct them, but we don't want to break them down. So many times I'm listening in classes and I hear some harsh things that the adults say to the children. We can't do that. We can't do that anymore. We don't want to break them. We don't want to get them to the point where they just refuse to try. So let's be careful even in the educational areas when we're saying this. And number 2, don't compare them with each other. Don't compare your children with each other. And don't compare them with anybody else. This pulls on that self-esteem. And it can cause a rift between them and that person, sister and brother, students, whoever. So let's not do that. Number 3, encourage them to love and respect each other. Teach your sons to say nice things to your daughters. Teach your daughters to say nice things to your sons. We shouldn't be the only one complimenting in the house. Let's make that a part of our vocabulary in the house. That's very, very important. Number 4, don't allow them to make fun of each other. Not in your home, not in your classrooms. Do not allow them to make fun of each other. We've all heard sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt. That is so not true. Words hurt, and they stick with you for a long time. I tell y'all look at these big eyes of mine. I got some big eyes. And I tell you, every child in the classroom always called me big eyes or pop eyes. After a while, y'all, I just wanted to keep my eyes like this. Because I didn't know they were big, beautiful eyes. I didn't know at the time. So everybody made fun of them. And it took me a while to get up and realize that's part of my glory. I have some big, beautiful eyes. But I didn't know it at the time when children were making fun of me. So don't allow that in your homes. Don't allow if they can't say something nice, let them know you got to be quiet. We don't do that in here. And that's how I do even at school. I tell my kids, we don't do this in Miss Dunn's classroom. I don't have that. And I'm going to say this to you. If counseling is needed, get a counselor. It's only going to make life better for you and your family. Number 6, reach out to parents in your communities. You might want to form a group who will meet regularly to collaborate ideas on building confident youth. I think that would be a good idea. And you might want to reach out to your schools for some resources on esteem, because that's very, very important. Now, remember, our goal for our young people should be for them to reach self-efficacy. We want them to believe in themselves and in their abilities to succeed in achieving their goals. Also, we want them to have the confidence to know they can do whatever they set their minds to do, because they too are becoming strong and confident leaders. In closing, I want to say it's not too late. You may say, well, Ms. Dunn, my children are gone. It's not too late. Ms. Dunn, my house has been crazy. It's upside down. It's not too late. Start today. Filling your home with positive words. I believe in you. You can do it. I love you. You're beautiful. And no, I can't promise you it's going to change overnight. But I bet you I guarantee you, if you keep it up, a change is going to come. And it's going to be a better change for you and for your family. Thank you for joining us tonight. I will be on again next Monday, sharing some tips on becoming. I hope you enjoyed. I am signing out. Have a good night. Thank you for joining. Well, I'm sorry. Do you have any questions? If you have any questions at this time, I welcome you to ask me any questions. I'm looking. Any questions? Well, thank you for joining.